Storyboarding is a visual storytelling methodology. Hi, my name is Yunmi. I'm one of the co-founders of StoryTribe. StoryTribe is a web-based storyboarding application. With StoryTribe, anyone with or without artistic talent can illustrate your ideas and concepts using storyboarding technique. If you don't know what StoryTribe is yet, we've got a separate video that showcases the tool and explains what it is, so please check it out. I'm gonna open with a famous quote from Weir's Laws of Human Communication. It goes, "Communication usually fails except by accident." To understand and appreciate this quote, we need to think about the definition of communication. To have a communication, we need a message sender and a message receiver. And when the message sender sends the message and the message receiver receives the message as it was intended, we can say the message has been communicated. But communication fails every day, and we'll show you some examples. There are two people who seem to agree with each other. How about going to the beach tomorrow? That's a great idea. On the surface, they agree with each other, but the girl is thinking about tanning and relaxing on the beach, while the boy is thinking about fun activities and exercises, which is everything but relaxing. So this is a communication failure due to misaligned interest. Here's another example. A man says, "Mr. Smith, this is a very brave proposal." What he's really trying to say is, "You are insane." But the other guy takes it as a compliment. He thinks I have courage. This is another example of communication failure, due to sarcasm or irony misinterpreted. This is another very common example. Have you ever waited for more than 30 minutes just to order something in a restaurant or a cafe? And no matter how much we try to send some signals, the wait staff never catches. Communication failure, due to distractions such as background noise or other interruptions. In this example, we have 3 information receivers, but none of them is paying attention. Communication failure, due to lack of attention or engagement to decode the message. These were just few examples, and there are many other communication challenges, such as a lack of shared understanding of key terms or concepts, stereotyping and prejudice, cultural differences, language barriers, misuse of language or nonverbal cues, everyday human errors. The list can continue. The point is, communication is fragile, and these were just everyday small talks. So how about understanding your real estate contract, understanding physics, communicating your vision to the stakeholders. A lot of UX and digital product professionals will resonate with this one. Communicating global issues. Global issues are usually very complex, so just verbal or written language alone, it's very difficult to communicate the message. So let's go back to the initial quote for a bit. Communication usually fails except by accident. It makes more sense now. Then, is there a way we can make our communication more efficient? How can we get complex ideas across easily and increase the chance of happy accidents? We can get the clue from the way social media communication is changing. So in 2000, when the social media was in its infancy, a lot of communication was based on text. Facebook had its status update, and on Twitter, you could share your ideas and opinions. And on many blog platforms, such as Blogger, you could share your experiences and how-to tips with everyone. But in 2010s, Instagram came into the market and everything changed. A lot of other platforms became image-driven to catch up with this trend. The reason was obvious, because if you look at the example on the screen, the one photo seems to be more efficient than 50 words. And these days, in 2020s, everything is about videos. TikTok revolutionized the way we edit videos on mobiles, and Instagram and YouTube came up with Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts to catch up with this trend. And talking about YouTube, these days, if you want to learn how to do anything, you'd go to YouTube rather than Google. In this example, I typed how to make an oven mitt, and instantly I got about, hundreds of results. How to make oven mitts in videos, step by step. It's so much easier than reading text on blog. So to summarize, the social media has been changing from more text-driven to image-driven, and these days to more video-driven communication style. Videos are powerful because it combines linguistic language, and we can use both written and verbal language, and visual language, the image layer, as well as the storytelling. So it's not just one image, we've got a lot of images strung together to form a storyline. I can make an example with this sentence. So it goes, Halasan Mountain is 1,947 meters high. It sounds pretty high, I guess, but I'm not a mountain expert, so I don't really have a reference to understand what 1,900 meters mean. But when I look at this example, which provides the information with the linguistic language, as well as the visual language, immediately I get it. It looks like I'm around the same level as the cloud, so it looks pretty high. I can hardly see the village or the city, whatever that is, it's just down there. So I get it straight away. But when you look at this instead, this person goes, Halasan Mountain is 1,940 meters high and I'm going to climb it today. And the video shows from the beginning of the day where the sky is jet black. She gets to the bottom of the mountain around 7 o'clock in the morning, and we follow her journey all the way to the top of the mountain, which she gets around midday, and she shares the amazing view at the top. Here, not only we understand how high the mountain is, we also understand the amount of effort it takes to get to the top of the mountain as well. Storytelling is powerful. As you've just seen from the example, while we run through the story, we get to walk in the shoes of others and grow empathy. Storytelling is a core part of communication. But what's the pitfall? If videos are so powerful and amazing, why doesn't everyone make videos? The reason is, number one, not everyone wants to be in front of the camera. Imagine people like cancer survivors or domestic violence victims who want to share their experience with other people, and so that they can help other people overcome similar situations, but they don't necessarily want to be in front of the camera to share that story. Or some people might be just camera shy, and then it's just very stressful experience for them. Number two, video content production is very labor intensive. The shooting sometimes could be quicker, it depends on actually what sort of setup it is, but the editing, videos and audios and everything is just very time consuming. So it's not for everyone. So now let's talk about, finally, storyboarding. So what is storyboarding? I think we can begin from the definition of storyboarding. So storyboarding is a sequence of drawings, typically with some directions and dialogue, representing the shots planned for a film or television production. So you can see storyboarding has started as a planning tool for video productions. This definition is from a dictionary, so it's a more traditional view of what storyboarding is. These days, storyboarding technique is used in lots of different areas and different industries. What I'm trying to point out here is that storyboarding is a communication tool for planning video productions. So what do they look like? What a storyboard look like? Let's take a look at some examples. This is an example from the film Interview with Vampire. It's the ending scene. And another example from the movie Salt is the rooftop scene. And the final example is from the film Iron Man. It's from the scene where Pepper catches Tony. And we're going to look at this one in more details. So on a storyboard, it looks like there's linguistic language. So you've got the scene description or dialogue between characters captured in the words. And we have visual language, which is the image layer. And we don't just have one image, we have a number of images that follows the timeline, which is storytelling. So I hope you see my point here. Storyboarding has everything that helps effective communication. So it's got linguistic language, and it's got visual language, and it has storytelling as well, just like videos do. Of course, it doesn't have that fancy, glamorous visual effect, but we've got all the elements that helps your communication to be more effective. On top of that, we have some added benefits as well. There's no need for the stress for the camera, and it's much quicker to produce than videos. Because if you think about animation, for example, we need 24 drawings per second. But for storyboarding, it could just be one. So you might ask by now, if the storyboarding is that amazing, why isn't it viral already? Here's a reason. We can't draw. Many of us don't have the level of drawing skills that is required for storyboarding. This is not the only problem, there are other problems as well. To understand the problem space, we conducted a survey with 330 participants in 54 countries. And the goal of the research was to understand who needs storyboarding, why they need it, how they currently get it done, and the problems they face during the process. In the next video, we're going to cover this research output, and also we're going to talk a little bit more about how StoryTribe is solving these problems. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.